Hi everyone, Allan Knight here, and I thought I would just take a few moments to talk about a very, very simple, probably the simplest form of meditation I know. Being a former Zen monk, I get asked quite a lot about meditation, what kind of meditation I practiced, what kind of meditation I teach. I personally believe there are many forms of meditation, and it's up to each person to find the form that is most comfortable for them, the one that works the best for them. I'm certainly not attached to any method, but I'm going to share with you the simplest, easiest, I say easiest, but in some ways it's probably the hardest form of meditation. It's the purest form of Zen meditation that I practiced when I was a monk. But anybody could practice it anywhere, anytime, sitting in a chair like I am right now. So now that we're entering into the last month before 2022, I thought it would be a good time to share with you a simple technique that I personally use sometimes twice, sometimes three times a day, maybe for 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. If I have extra time, I might do it as long as a half an hour or even more. But even if you did it once, if you're new at this, or you're very busy and you don't have much time, and even if you do it for 15 minutes every day, it's still going to benefit you long term as long as you keep doing it on a consistent basis. So the method is very simple. You could either sit quietly on a bed, on a couch, on a chair like I am. If you want to close your eyes, I can. The way I used to practice meditation is put a kind of pillow on the mat on the floor about a foot and a half in front of a wall so that I would have limited distraction externally. And basically, keep your body upright, straight posture, relax all the muscles in your body. Look a little bit downward as opposed to upward, like that, a little bit down, your chin in, back of your head up, and you're looking a little bit downward, let's say at the wall. I'll use the wall as an example. And you have a very simple plan of action here, not very complicated. You're going to count your breath 1 to 10 over and over and over again. So it's going to be like this. Let's choose the exhalation. I don't really care whether it's inhalation, exhalation. For whatever reason, I've always used exhalations. So I breathe in, and as I'm breathing out, I go 1. I do it silently, not verbally, silently. So 1. Now, in order to have an anchor to help, because it's not easy to concentrate on number after number after number without your mind getting distracted, one of the things I did is I visualized the number on the wall. So if I go 1, I could see the big 1 on the wall. 2, 3, 4, and so on. Right up till 10, then back to 1. Now, you and I both know that unless you're a very highly enlightened master, very quickly thoughts are going to come in your mind, and sometimes quite rapidly. So it's probably going to be more like this. 1, 2, I can hear that noise outside. 3, 4, I'm getting hungry. 5, this is stupid. 6, 7, what am I going to eat for breakfast tomorrow? 8, what an idiotic experience this is. 9, 10, Allan's an idiot. Back to 1, and that's what you do. Your goal is to focus on the counting of the breath. Now, because the reason it is so difficult for most of us, especially in the North American culture, is we live such busy lifestyles and we're inundated with things and we're inundated with words and people and responsibilities and stimulation of media, internet, whatever it be. So when we start counting the breath, our mind starts to get out of control. We start thinking and latching onto this thought and that thought and this thought. Now, thoughts come and go. Emotions come and go, unless you're in a deep state of ongoing depression. That's another issue, but we won't talk about that today. But emotions rise and fall. Thoughts come and go. But behind the emotions that rise and fall, above the mind, the thoughts that come and go, is the big, what I call Zen zone. the Zen's blue sky. So if you have clouds in the sky today, there are clouds that are coming and going, even if it rains for a day or two. Above those clouds, you and I know, is the eternal blue sky. In the same way, the eternal Zen zone of calmness, contentment, tranquility. And for some of you that might know that is possible. It is possible. That's why I became a monk, to experience that, and I'm glad I did. So what happens is, as you count 1, 2, 3, and keep coming back to the counting. If the thoughts come, you don't push them away. You don't try to pretend they're not there. You don't obsess on them. You just say, oh, that's interesting. And then you count the breath again. And then count oh, that's an interesting thought. 2. Interesting thought. 3, 4. You keep coming back to the counting, coming back to the counting, coming back to the counting. As you do this every day, and for different people, it's going to take different amount of time, depends on a lot of factors. Sooner or later, the thoughts will calm down. You're always going to have some thoughts. That's not the problem. It's obsessive thinking. That's the problem. Hyperactive thinking. That's the problem. But as you continue to count your breath, 1 to 10, 1 to 10, 1 to 10, you are going to start counting more consciously, more powerfully, with more concentration, and eventually you get to the point where you're sitting there and there's a little bit of a breakthrough, and you'll know when all of a sudden your mind becomes almost still, calm, centered, tranquility. And at that point, this exercise goes from being somewhat boring to actually really pleasant, to the point that you don't want to get up. You just want to sit there and sit there because it's so beautiful, so calm, so peaceful. That's the goal of meditation. Now, what happens is when we get out of meditation, we're going to live our life and we're going to get stimulated by different things that will trigger us. So our mind is not going to stay in that state all the time. So there is what's called meditation to achieve that tranquility, and ongoing meditation and action so that you live your life with maximum self-mastery. That's a whole other story and another video for another time. But if you would commit to even 15 minutes every day, preferably twice a day, maybe in the morning, maybe in the evening, whatever it be, if you would commit to that for the rest of this month, you're going to set yourself up for a wonderful 2002, because then you're giving an opportunity for you to tap into what some people would call your higher self, beyond the mind, beyond the emotion, and get into what we call the Zen zone. And when you live there and make sure that you take care of your physical body and take care of your mental health and your emotional health and your relational health, but when you live in that Zen zone as the focus, as the home base, so to speak, and then everything flows out of there, you would be amazed how effortless you live your life, and how you live your life with much more happiness, contentment, and fulfillment. So that's a simple exercise. Do that for 15 minutes. Count your breath. Be comfortable. Sometimes you will have a better meditation than other times. Don't judge them. Just do it every day. Do it again. It's the easiest thing to let go, because we get very caught up in our daily activities and, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Don't. Do it today. I challenge you to do it today for the rest of December, and then we'll have another conversation. Hope you enjoyed that. Take care, and we'll talk soon.